Asempa 94.7 FM so enie nonai abapa ho siman aduanan and 444 pepe ene ye dwada Ekosiisen adwumadie so enie safei na ade wa fidie ato ha yedem live wo Facebook and YouTube ebraso se discussion segment no yede etwa so emamo emrahye badwani ma omanfo ye owo English amanfrom yene no esi adwa na yahwe enen sema yede etopono so sada so na minua bema Adjei Bno region wahu Deputy Communications Officer enono also ewo fiase oje entity wo suade no abeye lawyer ntie nche be kakra obafi ha se ya na omotam na ye omu yusuo no eno no ye den barrister wahu
Asempa FM
Ebi
mo video omo ho asie ayi wen ns wen
oh
eya hia ni school mu
mi hia ni school
ka shen say ye hia dia ye
pie kakra obefie ona onso mo ye ne papa yi enche ntem se
ayi no ho entutu na ebono mantem so te sei
nyame adom me fie obedura no pa ya
unya kwan so kɔ hɔ
meko adwuma no so but penifo ze edijawa ne edi aso enti Saturday na the regional youth organizer na be di ekiro Bono East minua ba ko Adjei ni mboate na agya wanya ne ho kani enti na ho be hia se ye nyina ya ye mmebu na yesoso ye nsako no atu ni anato enti na wose ekɔ enti Saturday no pa be 10 na me free a ko techiman area nso na sunyano ze wose mekoye 1212 na meko sunyane Adjei na me ba Kumase Enra West School na colleges of education and so Asia 10 for no enti onzi
jamen na de former education minister mu
yeah na me ko bi enti e free ho na agya me bedura no pai enti adwuma no de eguso ye na ye ogidie mapase bebi adru ne de kan ne kan ebi
adru ne de yi
ebi na wonim se sunyano airport no story da so da ho
sa na no unua be ma kwambafo obetena ha no woka se empanimfo se ebre no masa de kakra ka ho ebise afi etwa mu awie ye no na nka wo se afi no kwa wie no na airport no ye bie and omo ye so first quarter this year first quarter no so eno an ye de ba wie nti ye hwe animu se ye emawie ye wo
ye besi so anka ehia wo ma
na wo kwa ede na ehu ye nti ye besi so
se de tie dada na on say de nti aye ka
runway ne de wo so ma ya wie
oh yeah but I don't actually know the main issue for now on say ebi se petrol boy den pa o petrol the other better fuel agu ka ma free akosunyane in and out no se sunyane airport ye juma no free here call by flight far better nti ye besre minister siama pono de wahye bia the last time I betna me kase wie no mo test message ba say by March then no mo bi and ye oboso me ben mo yesa na mo ma ase mu die nya wo region wo ye besre ade ba ko abono mantem ye hia free mo ne ye airport ba ko pe because the three regions Bono East the main Bono region na hafo
I have for so come
into the only airport je besre any die kwan so de perfume ho nyina no on say to de bi na me ba na me kasa na me bompanimfo a omo free region ho mo abam because the enim ni senka de ope ade akokotoko ne yenye den yenye na bro ye wa kuku dan 1 pp aban mu pa o ya we so de watena wa so what are they saying about the region now? The airport alone, airport. And I'm with the more kwa munya motoke emane de moko. Enti mun ni traffic so. And as I'm with the moon to petrol. Yes.
Eric, and your petrol crasem. The risk are offer for
more. Are you serious?
Obe femuno. Unam sura eno ehunu wo fam ka.
Ufi akosunyane 8 hours.
Ubedu na na.
Wa drive ka 8 hours. Na ukofo VIP dia. Eno 10 hours ubetwa. Wo kwa America no we dra da so. Why? Yes, sir.
Asempa FM.
Uraj Mamanu mo ye minister. Bafo we are minister.
Wa constituency na wo no.
E wa me ya kire me Sunyani East.
Ayo.
What you say? Bafo we are mu nyina ho na mo wo. DVL boss Buzia ofri hobi antiama Buzia mu ade na mu di edem sa ade na ede ayam. Nothing is going on in Sunyani. And let me use same opportunity. One say nsuo to topa. Na nsuo to to gates ni choki. Na no other ram akwata be ka kire say why over 10,000 kilometers. Later on be ka kire say omo free report will be 1 kilometer. Ni na kan wono. Minister. And kofona omo na tete gatemu no. One say was some small small and medium scale contractors bia omo na tiga tem do kwan ho say contractors no
can no ye do don dey na pass and gardens for
yes and ye from single man contractors and ye from but omo ye small and medium den contractors
gata dey here na wo kan
one say ye do kwan ho ye tete gatters num as an yema choki yi one say contractors and ye fa ma omo ye kwan akese no you was some minor contractors
because will be fear anim
Debbie no na meka because offer Sunyani High Court anim ho say since so to kakra bia na bu afagata no so meaning say adwuma yeden ewo na menti e kra ne say almost 2 years ni those contractors no mo years adwuma na ban ntua moka na de ya wo mu ni say wo waye adwuma 2 years a aban ni ntua woka no ne asen apɛ different contractors nti next one no ne de amom nti wo se wo tia se aban ma misika next one no kra nya wo ne de brɛ o senya broka foforo na ato nti yesiro uru akufo ado ne amoakwanta gata mu tete de enya de ye problem muntua contractors ne ka no mun sign go back to side because nsuo toto what must pa me was some of the pictures o hwe adwuma nkofo ebi ye pa na aban se ontua omoka enye easy oh me ko Sunyani me ko hu bi se nsuo to manim na ontua 2 years ne gata so ye timu edi 3 years
Jason way
anyway mami me man the pictures ni bi na on show bi ma o hwe ade
nyabo chema me ye ni Greater Accra Regional Minister etwetwe nkomo ma ne ka che se odona mo no omode abo akogu honomo me ka say ene ye ka se ye beti so na ya hwe se asemo a minister ka no ne nokura ye wom emfa ho se ye ne na atwetwe nkomo no pictures no aba abo no omode akogu ho ampa ya che se odona dwa no adwadifo no me ka ni se ye ni se nyina no eye yawoda ne e benti o yawoda se ba ne se minister omohyase na abaye mudi dede ba ha se ya enu nchi ne minister kan ye se da bi ye pese ye hu ansa eti pictures ne video no na Justin na de to ho live wo Facebook and YouTube Asempa 94.7 FM ne omaye e wo do na market wonom no ya ye de ani ebehwe bi gravos no negu ho no honie odo na market no say neti
on say adwuma ne de say o ye na o ye ni ya obi abebo abaso the last time am kofa is it Abelem Pio say that area and so mokoye adwuma o minister corona it was so nice nti ye adwuma enua next excavator ne ade na mo de feel
excavator na si ho no
good nti meba
nyabotre ntim kosi wansa ma men kama nsem we mie ma mini ba bi awo ko nyabotre ma mie we yansa nya sa ba hira kwan ye kan be edwa no mese meni omudwa enti ehia me papa se enne ensuo fa omu se pe menna ensuo form a edwa we bra omu sie ehu adwuma nyina adubu ahene ne nkrofo ne yafrɛ omu kokot edurumire bi a ne yese private investor bi ye beje ho ama no eno omu se ye de kokot meda ho ne yafrɛ ena ye kokot no ne ye den yo ena dwa no enne esi ho no mo enti se asase ne nya asase ketwa wo hu ni se ya beka se ya asase ketwa hu se ogovanda poi ba ye no nso be ye akire ho eti asase ne so eti gravos omode agusu e se ne esi ani de fe I pray and hope sense you no try and ka hobe say ya mo matena hono na esenke asuma dwomo eti adwadifo na mo wo odona cycle Dubai hono no mudwa no ne yaye no mesre mo ya woda
omunya ni pavement
omunya ndai
pavement sensu no talk say ahwa na ahoro
unim ho hye wa bra ebeto aba no empanifo ka say omu kosi dwa no timekura nam ka say omasi and almost so muguso munye enti temporary way or more no and no and no honum no. So we are hoping sasa ni okano omuye ni pavement na be solve problem ni nyina. It is so far minister
good work. Ebi ma me fama no nsi na menua slime rem. On say me bisa o say excavator na de adwuma no. Obi a ye chichiro man a yensa enso ye chi adware. Aban timi tu excavator so sa o se wo hye no. Enti excavators here dey adwuma nye obi bottom na sika beko enti dia na aban confiscate ni na nka ye hold ya so man no mpo ajapade a eto da ye nwene kakra o meni uti kroma and the Ministry for Lands and then excavators mako 400 500 yesi ni nyina ayira eno ekwa usi ni Professor Frimpong Boaten kon ya anti de esi yesi ya suspend ekwa usi ene ekwa usi de oka wokrata MPP is losing Central Region. Nanka wo ba excavator ira no power age. Henesi are reinstating no. Professor Frimpong Boaten so yesi onko ye COVID adru. You see these people here, omo ti o mani dem papa. All this caliber of people are still in government. E better na mene omre.
Na ehinu wachi.
But where are the excavators? Answer no ye jai kai wan fa.
Excavators no.
500 no mo na be ka kire wan fa. Where are those excavators? Enso na start to to no. Na no mene slide na betena ha. And walker botiano say him baby and zoo to trouble labor. Slice excavator na monko for ni chema party for na bi mudi ye galamsi no. Ujidi se wan kenti fa bi enyu petemu akwan no bi. Mudi o mind them sa still munni nuhu bia ma o mind no. Ene ma mu ye den ma no kasa nye. Ai.
Ma yanko slide honomo. Abusia intro nunu. Intro ya Bono Deputy Communications Officer no no ma menko English amount from ma shebedwani yo wo honomo ono ne constituency no utumi kwa wunuruda utumi kwa wodwen se o matwa mu bisa yes slide ubisa yes slide na chese utumi se ma me shalia yokobotwe bra no mu nche mu no de won de wo ba papa wa brem enei o makwan ho ensem na no just obosa minister ko no abo ma hen
ebiwa agonta ho teze
boko
agonta ho ye
na so e
over seven so
obia ho ye
enda nyame ase so se me chia bia be za agonta se agonta me chia ebiwa me chia etifu nyina ni woni amohwe yen wo abefo kwantimpon so me namfofo bi wo Dallas amu ehwe sisi a mene wo ekasai na minchia sonko enkoma the trade minister Ira Alan John Kojo Chiremanten, the minister for communications, and then any Ghana Enterprises Agency CEO, any me board members ni na me dano as a board chairman, and then di Jumadie sonko
trade ministry board so
me wo Ghana Enterprises Agency board so ewo Ira Alan John Kojo Chiremanten ase nti ene de toso miensa ye edwumade kese apagya ema ankrankra adwuma emu wo man mu conference kese mu wo we rise die daso no Ghana Women Enterprises we ewo ene yani Mastercard Foundation ene dis adwuma no ene Ira John Alan Kojo Chiremanten the sector minister 29 by President Esuma Minister for Communications Mami Eslausu Ekufu ebegina na nemu ne nyani behwe Kempiski adanse ahodo a ema ahodo a enam Ghana Enterprises Agency ebiwai enne nyama mi hu ne ho no na minyi se Ghana ya tumi akwa kudru baabi a ema this is not everywhere particularly ema ye industrialization of local products we share packaging ni nyama hodo a ene me hu Ghana jollof a ye de agu kan mo all you need o kan shi na we di etumi di 1 year e wo kan mo amazing product a ende me hu no I was so much impressed and I know say Ghana wo and that's what kase and most of these innovations e man nakasa tu omo no mutuo ebi why e kire yen say innovations do na bae ebra na yakwa ho yahia covid mo a brand now one. So and obi to nenum to say she's been the biggest beneficiary of the misfortune of the world. Say and watumi anya product out of ingenuity and innovation. A bra COVID by or TFI and on yeshe no.
So far and some say no honorable way toda ye tibio we yetimesua we ne nanka pese hu si etumi ye ne duduo mu a nanka ya employ nipa mpo na say
yeah wo bibia a friend scaling up nyuma nyina ye di kan and then na minister Alanko Jochemante Kasado o se niam miensa na hia ye pa di kan so be take a risk as an individual so be ye bibi the toso mienu funding any training Ghana Enterprises Agency with MasterCard nipa ba ho nyina ye nipa ye de o ma fantitiye mo
okay
ohia nimdiye wo ade na wo ye no so usun dae kra na e wo se ye pagya wo nimdiye wo dae na wo so no e wo se ye pagya mo na afi ye ma mo akande wo so mo ye adwuma no na afi ye tumi scaling up to commercial level na afi opening the opportunity for them for international markets. And the minister chechire African Free Trade Continental Agreement I signed Ghana host no and my access to all markets in Africa to begin with. And there was a boy and crop for na bibia wo ye bia no to me compete anywhere in the world. You were the same agreement with the US, you were the same agreement with the European Union, we have the same agreement with United Kingdom. So what it means ni say yeah showcase na encouraging crop for nipa we nyina ye nipa omo fa aban sem ama aban omo ntitiye. And until now, Ghana Enterprises Agency, the Trade Ministry, there were business advisory centers in all the districts, and there were business resource centers. There were 37 districts. There were Kruma, Ayebwa, Nipadoma, etc. And scaling up, say Omben and Kesiemo. And we are working with FDA. We are working with institutions. No much many certification for everybody that came to exhibit or more products. Go through certification processes. Now we are collaborating with the Ghana Export Promotion Authority to assist them to get into the international market. But first of all, I will say Ghana for now, and I'm encouraged, and I will encourage the board and the management of Ghana Enterprises Agency. Say we should do more of exhibition. Not Ghana for them to patronize, and then who niyama who do a war on display. I was so encouraged. So, me bought minister.
Minister say sikasemu.
Yes.
Training say training ne de abawie. Sikasem ediachi ansa na ye bo omo so ama omo atumi anya chitaye te say Food and Drugs Authority because I thought that nipa na ya de no. Say obey tumi anya say ye Ghana Standard Authority, Food and Drugs Authority be so ni mu no. And no ya ministry no hwese ombeye de amom.
The agency and not the ministry called the Ghana Enterprises Agency. Yeah, said there no. And nothing na woko district bia ye wo business advisory centers. I find BACs. Omodwuma no no. Hwese so. Na fenso ye hu say ebi enyuma no bi so in district business advisory centers no. And nothing na the business resource centers. Aba ye boa sa enyuma hodo. Most of them ye boa omo for their certification. But if we have certification, it shouldn't end there. We need to scale up production to meet market, local demand, and then the foreign demand. And the minister can be said, "Obi product on your request from outside. Quantity of here no, per or non standard, never taking 10 years to be able to produce a quantity and it here within 6 months. So I dare say, I was buying bemo near to me buano. If you crowd how here additional partners are, who to me a ton or more ideas, now will be your investor. Not to me, Obi Kutani Sika onim adipotin or the year Benya home fast. But when the ministry has all this data, now you say bet me out on ideas, now other partners to assist them to scale it up. We are ready to do that.
Yeah, better try by film you know, you better be Ekosiisen.
Oh, Niama Bebre Ekoso, and I'm particularly interested in this, and I'm happy to be a board chairman of such an institution. Inti Abrano Brano, you better to fremo for you to be able to, of course, the Abehuna made one dance. Yes, yes, and I'm particularly happy about it. And one of these days, you're very invited to see the exhibition, what we are doing, and it's the same institution we are spearheading the youth start, and this idea and specifically for Emma. So when we get to the youth component and other things, we'll talk about it. But ABY, Eric, you see, and I say Bibian course of Bunoni and a half a month for 5 years. Can you imagine that?
What's me?
What's the Bibian course?
airport asem kwana ananya no
airport asem kwa who kasa na bia na we review propaganda no so until now we review who can say yahye excavators ora wontumi ko bisa no 2014 yahye ni machines over 20 eno na wonti kroma say na wonti kroma
ba yes say be kasa yahye machines no
look,
say yen DC say yen PPZ good say be machines
yes you see ABY the entire ya na ya medin to do comparison sebi wo nipa na ene wo kasa se osoro abofo na ene wotumi anya kukudro saban three more than insensitive wo record na ebon eno nti na wo court ade bia meka na mesa ka bi wo court na wo ye witness the credibility of the witness is important to the delivery of justice enti wo na ene wanya kukudro kan say that wo record no bon so emayen ko ho aban the fight against a friend is galamsey okruma inyina yenim na mami kanzo na onti ase se enye excavator nkwa na edi yakwan baby kura wo ho be yakwan yewie na excavator ba kokura se kwan so
yenim pa
yes inti men ka se excavator
we are no mo ye excavator adwuma
o se excavator
we na no mo ye na excavator adwuma
dama na mo wa be ma
excavator 500 na yira ye ye penso 1000 yira
excavator kwan bia anyira wo ba bia
anya mo na mo ye mo hu
case obi anka se excavator bi ayira wo ba bi never excavator bi ayira wo ba bi so for me we hear such allegations na ebra na mo share excavators no na botian no English man from you were in power, you were holding the seat. One year 1 kilometer of road. Satan excavators no never infa. Ukroma wo kan say akwan na gates sisi na de ade no. Say na mo share excavators no sa akwan na enye ye. Ye share excavator wo kan airport no. Na mo krom na airport Sunyani Air Force base na ni ho. You see all these things we can advocate for development. But my enye say wo penso no everything was rosy. Me constituency odi two hu ye dey. Akwanya atitia pansama yeka ho asemende na mo abreso ne wo mo di 8 years okroma na botian no English amanfo kwanya na ye nyina ne go ade na mo anye. So the governance and leadership yempeja conversation no mo enko enim kakra. So for me this excavator should be holding in am there tangentials no a hot true nti ya no wanya botra kakra nti ebi why the mechanic say me obia ehun behia say ye be pray puntunjuma and the president has made it clear equitable distribution of national resource kakra aban bia ni obeba obeka say me wie me tenure of office and a president bi for 8 years no na mpuntu bi ewukrum ha bia no na yetumi aye ni nyina wie it won't happen and now do America mo yi akwan do Europe mo yi akwan 300 and something years democracy, so nobody can claim say problem be obeto ye no obeko no solving ni nyina wie. We want, that is why we are a developing country. And now me ne woti baby ana eye virgin land, no man's land in crew as started springing up. The moment that na mienu miensa be springing up no, they begin to demand social services. That is the challenge we have in this country. Look, there were places in Sunyani 10 years ago ubeko na dan si ho and na crew nipa wo nyina nso e demand social services. So long as we remain a developing country no, infrastructure demands no e be cost ro de bia moye humodin and all these things that we talk about. Why obia said their former president Mahama Kaye obia ni ho be your mampani obefi ni fie so oba be di your mampani no discuss about be develop your mind no higher resources ya japade and you can yesase make media development and the can development ye pushing for development ye bo aban triso no no be say won say aso my filing me taxes crack this year ya no ya di kasa gbegbe ya buy money home money no be say won say me am too have I honored my tax obligation to the state? No, you haven't. Then you will bo aban na triso say aban enye development bia obesu and obesu hu die.
But me ni say obi a o kasa aban nye development bia ntwi an tax.
No, I'm not saying say all over. No, it cannot not be true. It be your taxes pa. And I'm saying it is good say be advocating for development. You be advocating. But mine here won say aban development in do what is aban here insensitive. No, we shouldn't create that impression. We can advocate for it, we can lobby for it, but we shouldn't create that impression. But we also know statistics actually say nipa dom I wo o my money pe tua eto is less than 2.5 million of our population. If you are not me bi na ye ka ho
Yeah, that's it. Abusia Botiano English ya man from Rashebejani Onimunyan for Sylvester Tetteh ena yatenen kano na CBG Ghana penning for say yen koswa nyenketie for say ya the flex current account no abedwaso ene wa wodo ho ebehiem de niema ewom edoso niema ewom edoso ekova niema bebre sa ukọ CBG na flex current account so do ho ekohyemu a insurance package say wom free mastercard chese yede ema weka ho free first checkbook and so eka ho free digital banking and ye say unse digitization no ene wo so nti unya do ho kohyem flex current account ukọ CBG a no obisa se wo pep wo de opa atwaniti a me pe current account foforo na aba no yede be ma wo niema ewom edoso papa wo niema so aboye no ukọ ntem so ni ayama wo se ukọ na do ho kɔhye flex current account no mabusua access to salary loans ye de be ma wo wakatua na isanse wakatua for ye ma wo bosia no ntenten ni atumi e de ama wo CBG Ghana da bia meka se wudu sika ekosie ya adwene ho na hwɛ se ba bia me de me sika ekoi no sa semsi a ye beka che me se bank nagu enti ye nya me sika ma me ana se bank nagu me sika sha aban to eden ya meje sa na CBG tie aban ensa bom enti usika da hɔ a wo ahotoso se wuni ha obia Ramcha Motors adaroma wo ye drani na wutwika abusua wo ka no a wutwie no so obi di a wobetwia obeka cho so after 2 years me de be ma wo 2 years no kura nuru osi o me hwɛ na niema sesa na niema boa ye de niema sesa enti me di years ni bia kan na ye ntokwa Ramcha Motors sibra ɛhɔ de oba say we commercial driver we private driver arrangements on no wo beye na yatumi ama car ni bia wutwi a obia mfaja bia megu chemu metiatia wo me ha obia Ramcha Motors mpanimfo say yesrew enko ne mma meka sem foforo ene won anhwimom niema wo se wonya bia na kade ka ho na wonsa ka wade kama se wo pese on wo twetwe nkomo so a ene number wo ho ya obetumi ene wo twetwe nkomo na ne ehia bia no ye de amount kita undie ni nkyeremu bi wo so de eka ho no Ramcha Motors say bomoden na hwehwe wachi afan number ne ye 026 4445 268 and ye wunya frɛ wɔ nea speed made battery no so odibiaba wokɔ hɔ no mo a won sa betumi aka bi kama and ye wɔ Obapa products Africa Queen Mackerel abusua say Africa Queen Mackerel na wotɔ a ɛne wo how to atwa Africa Queen Mackerel fire jollof na hwade wo de wo a obi aka kyerɛ sɛ aduane nyɛ de na won sa no mo fa Africa Queen Mackerel ye jollof eye mackerel no na ema aduane na ye de se wonsa no bo se wonsa no mo wa ye o live soup awie no aka be 10 minutes amoatwe no fa Africa Queen Mackerel gum na hade obi nse taste na sesa ene ye wo Obapa fufu ewo ho no mo Obapa fufu no se ye menkan de no se bode de no wo kan te se fufu a ya wo no wadrum kama ene smile ene misamfum baabi amuwo bia enchia sonkon ene nkomamo products papa ya wode abadwa so no Rosters roofing system wada romanchense papa yede ebodan so no abusua sa wunya de bi bodan so nsuo na asase eto no so unso obi enchense ode abondan so no nsuo ni nwunu tatatata na eche se enchense no enye papa ene Rosters adaroma wode enade a ubedi kan ede agudan so na wuwia wode enchense no aguso ene so wode bi aba enti Rosters say bow dinosaur crew dinosaur wo yeso a nchense papa no ane Rosters roofing systems na yede boso ma yenkona discussion segment no yemfa enhyase Deputy Communications Officer Bono Region na wofie ha Eric Adjei Eric yenhyase enei yensema yede etop no so no cross agifo atifie free na no ya woda beto ene wose oje neutrality allowance won sankan ya enyade se wokọ adwuma TUC fo so ejina mu denden omo so ehia akatua ntumu yenhya semfri Leban sensem no mu na yapema koyenim
emidase na me bana mone Larry na one lawyer Berima etwetwen komo kakra na over the Herald newspaper na ohwe animu a ese Norwegians exposed GMPC over $600 million bloated cost in Aka Energy deal.
Yeah,
na mtimenhwe no na mse they cause GMPC no and se bibisa ho monhwe because they were in state institutions no eyika no ano eden na owura na pose ma hu so wote ne papa se ne na nanchen wo fom ho na yeso no so wakoma che de $3 million. Metie interview na kakra you see maybe a Larry obema clarity aba what I say to us it is a bin odi aba enti yentwen na de Larry wono on famra ne nhwe na lawyer no so etoda onzo o kasa ma client na wanya bo tre kakra because time we granting interview no I learned the other person was on the line or ye din tie no pa edu is a lawyer also be din tie ba ko no also ko meeting mu na ofri pie na nya meeting mu na ofri pie na okasa no etoda nyobu kakrama etifo no na o colleague no original line no so na bia sanko original so ma Larry can the side of the story nka omu understanding meboa ba wo no wa count the awie enti ofri meeting mu na pie na meeting kro na den na one time mu an respond as a den na okasa. Because in politics, ABA obehun ni say you go client who fi enye easy ade bia and social media me na me tan kra me yesa me nka ho asem say obi aye ne story na story na ba na mama mu social media guys no ko social media te say the NDC for na pese you go ora na po hu fi a mo ye ne de ho gimu afi ne ebe ye ne hu fi enti on Larry paper and an issues about they should deal with it from that perspective. Now on calling the social media guys need to order this man who be it be trend where a platform no be so they're normal church no. Enti me de kakra me ka fa hono. Ebiwa. Ghana Juma for strike in insensem. Oh say ye wamra mu aden. Every reasonable Ghanaian na no kre edin enim bia beka. Eni emamu eden pa. Because Osha na no anda yinu anu ma e wo su apon ahodo etwa o man hia. You take for so call strike. Esukufu ebre pa. Na aban ne omo anu bye ya. Excuse me. And on my sign go back. Na say do close up. Me kind story no na me say oh okay. Say ade aban ne omo anya pam dia. Then government should pay them.
Say you government.
Oh no, you see, we are penny now ofia. Opesa omanya obuo mawa. Always tell them what you can do. Menye penny huna ofia de bia dada mofra. Oh yes sir, umamu. So after reading the story ne de keka wana, me so oh, maybe a tremoko ni omo ne aban ko MOU. Omo de omo nza she krata asese me ko nanim no. Ye beye we di amaide amamu as Ghana adwumaifo. Yenim se ne mamu aden de ene sa close sack for ye kan masem ye ne omo ane topetry ana meboa ye ne omo ane fotrotro ye ne omo ane kodwem kotonuan ene ma boedin. And is such a person no a demand for salary increment I think they are reasonable. And even though in the name of COVID kwanya Ghana Juma e focus to ya afaswa ye basa ye ti ase se yare na ba but at rate like the rate enema bon so kosro no eden enti orakufu ado aban ne kenofori atamo e boshe apam da honti munni so but you see these people it was so musuan lessons you know MPP for no ya mo fa manyo se munti nhihye bo basa omo problem omo wo in the heat of economic crisis na na e kasa dodo they spoke a lot ba ku bia na mechanics ya mechanics owura kufado petumi age wo Ghana for wa na oye yibi ma na o ka se na ojejeje 1 cedi okay ba ku bi okotwete ye na mechanics ye bia na manya akanyama we na April 14th 2016 or say I invite every Ghanaian who is sick and tired of John Dramani Mahama's government corruption and incompetence to sign up to donate money to the NPP campaign. So the poor ordinary Ghanaian then no what they were not fan ho so on donate for MPP campaign or Twitter. And the same ordinary Ghanaian na also fano. Ya wo share ne mo o kan kasa de wa kasa e de. E kire no no. Ono na aba back no. Nti these are the very people who tutua wangana e the man di president no. But today close for nyabotre because you were the president in the heat of COVID obia esuma ne man no. Afi no live big. Will live like Arabian king. As ye the sikamutam. So at the end of the day, we are then cast the close like they don't deserve it. They deserve it. We have to pay them. Because you promised them. Because masa, man penny ne jet your chata na rough no. O kind ka wabo my Ghana. Let me tell you tag for ketri and to mu no open. Wana kasa chen wukruma wetida.
Near who can say obi adwuma ni bia sorry make it demand.
Eh we a penny wo fear how you behave. Enema oma like we followers no. Eye nyema bi. Ana ya tiasisi ese Ghana ye dia obi esu nyema bo kosri. Na ogidi se na no ada man penny ko Dubai Expo. Okofa commercial flight okotena business class obi e kase waya ade no. Ogidi se na pro ba hodo a okokoko na o charter jet. Ibi wo ho a ye charge $18,000 per hour ne de keka ho no. Sa na Olivia enka Ghana for strike ni sampintin kwa na be koso sa. Ni na factors because as a leader in a family wona oya papa ofie no na nse o ma konhoma oyiri busa wa se oboto munye o ma be pia ba abonten no na so wote abonten rekalomo ya asem wo ka o ma be di adi oyiri mfa serious uti mi pa ibi why as a leader there live that life and until na mesan so ka say omo kasa dodo no e na age omo sa no because me TSC here they said neutrality allowance no I don't support it. That is my position. And a dear in the tackle government on your moko Ekosiisen that MOU you say we are going to fulfill that for you. I'm a politician. I do active politics. I don't take salary from anywhere. Uti me pa. Me TSC ameye me party adwuma as party officer. Me free me region and now busa me baby me coffee fire me ba ina no. Party ma me 1 penny. Enti saa nipa na wo close agna aban ne twa ne ka bosome no. Obi answer o say ye neutral. Me I will say it here. Ye nimu nyina mo ye politician na mugu adwuma. Ye o office bia onimu obi party o. We know them. Ye ba ban mu anyo mo ne di achi say me pe director we me promo push me. Enti hwehwe nimu ben no. Huh? What does it mean? We know them. They are all they are politicians than us. But aban na man could do level na do na ne onu nam krum no so pay neutrality allowance. What neutral are you? Ye ti krum ha man pani amamu ni amanko ye no. Mo amoye neutral so mutimi kasa. Can they talk? Do they talk at all? Neutral ben no mo kan ho asem no. Abanya ma appointment letter ya for abanya dwumam. Ye for abanya dwumam ya ma condition of service me boa. Ya kan de obetimi aye ne de untimi nye o se pin wa de krata no e de letter ba so obetimi aye adwuma sebe mano na afom o so obetimi aye at the end of the day aban woni aban ye adwuma ko ani wose me de kra de ye mu bi mu ye nya kwa nya amanyosem na amanyosem no me erikaje me ti am ya amanyoso aban tu ameka o closer now so pese neutrality allowance amana kwa you can resign na be your politics resign and come. From that perspective because we know their positions our workplace. So can the contribute to and be bring major politicians in this country. Because party A by and so party num. So the right thing was on yet that. Inti idea was say in Koyama pay dead your best shield because the party na babemu. Then you come back telling me say open neutrality allowance or salary in yama 20% a month. I don't support it. That is my position as Eric Adjei ni baby free ba. But ni na obi na di akɔwie baby yadri enti president bosheba wo de bosha hodo akese e na abaji to me no baby yadri you have to go and pay them but we as politicians no our serious senses a lot ebi the fact is that all pay to me dear free to my move for no and non che say ofu podium na de bia beba wa no bia na woka ana me boa but ene kroman yama politics na dane enyansini kasa de betimi ahye bododo de obetimi aka nsem bia ye nipa so mu de ene eto abama enti slime aban enye wanwa se in 2016 ubusa obi MPP manifesto 111 obi abeka, one student one chocolate, one student one Ghanaian one bank account, one sa no mo de ye yazana and scammers yetim connection mind for ya say baby. Those were the things omodi could do level na yedu no enti baby won kemu adin enye this time there was a close sack ebebe ka che Ghana for say ye 20% increment of allowance of our salary. But eja obeka ne say na yiyi abaya sha omobo me wogidie say oni nipa ya de na pambe mudia e wo so odi so. And I am not saying say an opana me ni obi ye discussion and nipa na ka chem so na say you kunim say MOU kra na enye binding document na me say hey abainti me dada Ghana for adwuma for no omonye nkwala
na ne o kan nye nokure
no na eye nokura. So why do you call them say let's sit around the table, let's have a discussion? Then now so ope wasi we na me pa oban so waka mate emiri aye we mu ne ye aye nye yemfa nko bosumi we ye nim bosumi sei yemfa yensa nhye krata asese bosumi we ko no ye be ye de amount. That is how it is now. And this out tie ni pass e beto da o kan bi agidi ma o ka de ma you tax strike in a chair no earlier no mudi kan call strike no. You remember they met with even the vice president and no question man no ba se bosumi say we are going to fulfill it for you tax. Okay, after so almost sign back on strike no omo basis na omo de kasa nyina ne say omo ni e di kan ye hia asenya hye ya no ho ba boss say bosumi no kokodu say ya they will fulfill those promises for us. So media is if you're a leader the obetimi ayen let your followers know adiana wuntimi you don't talk about it. And this critical moment na you woman obi anim say nemamu adio ba ebi although semi position is I don't support neutrality because they are all more than politicians in this country. And now me know TSCA SOE se wokruma e kan kwa na omobo oko chief directors na omo ho no me kan say bi amenia slide okoko ye adwuma o youth authority so okoko ye chief executive officer said then CEO and I know yem rashi bedwani slide a few ho by betimi aba say ni chief director na da so te ho time amenia ras mubarak e wo ho no he be the same chief director and serve under slide was serve under ras or da so te ho such a person no omunim dia wo mu nyina so da bia yaba institutions ya boka aba any etikroma doctors ekra na save lives no omu praban yakatua hwebre omobre na ya tete obitimi ku school se ko UK wako Harvard o de ne betra ban adwuma no na afeso wabu nkonta ka to se oman na boka na hwe nipa ne lifestyle o live na brabo mu asesa ni fie me dream I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So as a minor, we should know where we are going because we should know where we are coming from because so nim baby o free bar and who baby ahoko. But here no as ye kobi ye nim baby ayeko ye proud to say ye timi be ka kire Ghana for say afi we kura no ECG ye adwuma ya boka be 2 billion. Ni ye ni age. Ni abeka cho say free zones e kai da ho ye say na enti o man be na chechire ne sa no. And the ama all these people no omuye eager no the perception out there is that every politician is corrupt. Sly, you know, and I know. That is a general impression I create. Because me na MPP ba na anu ada ye ni CEO e wo free zones no. Ene kakraba ni botuma wa quick wa kweshe parliament. Later me ba asem kana make me mo bi adi.
Kakraba sa wa bodin.
Oda me ba me asem examples na mema. Enti nipa na bi o youth authority no. Osi o oye adwuma kakra osi pe parliament okọ. Ene report aba obekọ free zones. Yes, free zones e de ka sei. Obekọ Ghana Airport Company. Na de no oye chief executive o no. Next primaries okọ pe parliament akọ. Ono su free on Ghana Airport Company de ka sei. Enti mi twa even light bill. What nation are we building?
But near what can you say nipa no free hoko
parliament? No, I am not saying say institutions are mebo mudi na meka say the personalities na economic na mebo like state institutions are a bit say GMPC YEA free zones ne de keka ho no a lot of chief executives no moko dodo na wi omoko mra shebe dwafie and I make sure say we are in a nation close agni na ono no press ade no onim say public accounts committee asisi a omo ye adwuma de bi omo be pon report beba no na sa SOEs na kanko a Enti say nipa we no e dey na your motivation obetimi adina ne say de o ka no fama no because onim say those top positions na make kan wasem ni nyina president bi na nya kwanya na de o mokotena ho street meboa ba afi bia e boka ene me note obi ka kire say Ghana Airport Company yentimi ntua electricity bill e was ogidi but bronya duru ye no hwe bronya dua ye siye polado mo kire bo chairman otimi ye drawing wo TV so na kire omo nim nyansa ne omo nim nyansa wo kroma ba hwe bronya dua wo siye what nation are we building and the government institutions no hwe ka omo de ECG who is taking those monies then at the end of the day the poor Ghanaian na hotia for more for nana ye sanji ni momo de man na ndo ba power no ni ato electricity bill so ono nkotua meanwhile utisi achimota forester e ho nyina timi dum 3 months ni enso light obi te taxi mu create mi gini mobile phone free ni so those are the issues that was ye can at this time but we have leaders in power today how they spoke and how they live obi nipa they all started so live big our expenses here big because en Ghana fo nyina tia no and as wo kwanya wo fa so abo bra no so pese we live exemplary life bia Ghanaians will get you right. You came into power first 4 years. O ka kire Ghana for say adwuma no so. Wo the ministers be 125. Ye kai want ye. Go to Cocoa Board ne Senate. Wo deputy directorship positions o mo create egu. Nti enya wa say ne eka emi Cocoa Board. It is all those portfolios now or mo create job for the boys no. At the end of the day, nipa na work closer ga. Or no say o neutral na pay neutrality allowance no. Oni nipa na the same area. And within 4 years, Honorable Yusuf V8, because when you go office, Nani Atatu Honorable, Yamani Saloon car on top petrol, into your petrol, say petrol, boy, there, on can to no can be. Those are the issues. So, Abai say a due. No more transfer. My government should pay them. But my position is that no one is neutral in this country that I see today. Yeah, because a Nekruma Yeteno. Omo ye technocrat omo tete officer was omo kan okre no party bi ba power yesi we NDC ni apam no enti obi wo German offer etimi de no zabzugu tatali umpe juma na Adjei in a party number who doesn't know so who are the neutrals that we are talking about today who are they
Adjei Deputy Communications Officer NDC amanyoko numo ewo Bno region ma yemra enkran na botiano English amanfrum rashebedwani onmunyamfo Sylvester Tetteh ewofia honorable so mayen
ABY adwuma edio na in fact me Eric ene mompa de said me nim Eric no ene de what wa fumpa o
neutrals na
baby awudi nam ya presidential travel na ho nua ABY maka asem ya ka
FM
mesenya ka biom look ye politics na mama yemfa no kre kakra enka ho niema ye ne ma edu ba bia Ghana for GDA ewo politicians mo no e ya ne kofom ten ABY wo omampanin a otu kwan akọ Europe okobe 3-4 countries in Europe o say okofa trotro plane na onfanko se ya tu kwan da obi a otu kwan da bia ni masema make se ene ukọ Europe alternatives are called Europe KLM British Airways or Turkish airline any other airlines about to do work direct flight to Europe BA be called London and KLM and do be kwa see Amsterdam Schiphol udu Schiphol these airlines ni nyina no ABY ba ku kra ni wo first class cabin. So the security of the president is important. The security of the president is important. Afenso so mampanin ko dru ho na or connected between one European country to the other. ABY, there is nothing like even a business class to commute the president from one European country to the other. In the mampanin no this Jumaya Ghana no, the security of the president, you want to compromise it. Or mampanin fi hako Dubai. There's a direct flight to Dubai or called Dubai Peno Asane Chia Ghana. There's a first class cabin. Or mampeni anko fa chartered flight anko. In the nimsansem we nyina propaganda
any presidential jet
there's a problem with the presidential jet.
But from near Yenua Eric King and send your one Casaswaka, your junior president security win.
Yes.
And yes, say your best na yes, presidential jet no.
Anyway, technical reporter at Dasono and prim mono media say your beton near to papa back Amagana. We should consider it important because of mampeni bi obebebia for the security of the president and the entourage no there. To me country me say o mampeni kotna business class are no security in a flight that flies over 200 people. My goodness, we can't. It is not because of his Akufo-Addo. Any president. So say beton the wohoi near to papa prekopa yenton to papa back on.
I'm even waiting for the day.
We need the full report.
Members of parliament send ye be to me decide on say president bia wo beba no kwan ye wo se wo fa so tu kwan say presidential jet ni ho ye nya enhihye ye bisa.
There's no the exigency of the time ebe determine how I be tu kwan. Because we be tu kwan enye wo pe advice ebeba ene be kire advice ebeba ene be. Look, there was a day na ye ko baby CEOs nyina ministers nyina egu bus back mo na security penny bi pa frame me was a Sylvester mun nyina aban makam ho agu bus back mo we say Ghana for kasa enti butina bus we na BBC ya anka mun nyina. Do you know the cost implications to this country? But obi a person propaganda they oh you are saving cost, but the security person will look at the other side of the coin. And the young man penny pe. It depends on the exigency of the time, irrespective of a so the security of the president is paramount. And the no more the propaganda say no power. I can tell you the number of times former President Mahama, former President Mills had traveled on that private jet. Na presidential jet. He names it technically. Now it had a problem. Technically, there was problem. And it's the Adjei is to papa. I'm on mine to save this situation. I think that we should be looking at that direction. But maybe why? Minya Eric, Castle Casena, I'm say one shada nya intiasia papa. Closak there no. With respect to neutrality allowance. Neutrality allowance is not a term to say omuji allowance say the be amunkoye politics.
Mene nana to atha kasa e mane ka say reason na omode baaye omo proposal omode baaye ni omo kan ye no.
No.
Utie
the Minister for Finance, the Deputy Minister for Finance, John Kuma. Ni discussions no ebe starting no. Close up for a complaining about the disparity in salary structure.
Okay.
A disparity. We share the single spine or market here. They are the least paid in terms of migration onto the single spine. And between them and the other state institutions, no, that disparity no so. So it was the consultant who led the discussion. And whose allowance that Muji will neutralize this disparity in the system. So the term neutrality has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with politics. Anybody who says is to say about politics should bring the document. I mean, yes,
when your document
at least I'm speaking from the ministry that led the discussion. The position of the ministry. It has nothing to do with the fact say allowance said politics. So that is not the case. So Obi War that bargaining agreement no Musa, they should just publish it. It is not true.
Because in Shemu no mukwe say na to afa so ka ho.
Oka ho ene na make say from the Ministry of Finance. In Chechiremu Ministry of Finance their ban say the term neutrality allowance is not to prevent anybody from doing politics or not to do politics. It is not. That is the explanation Ministry of Finance Ediaba. Say it is because of the disparity in the salary structure. So bring them to the level that will neutralize that disparity about the salary structure. And that is why government signed to it. Unfortunately, The timelines of the man, they couldn't meet it. It's a whole lot of money. And now you see, yeka salary assembly. Look, me amiti high opportunity to speak about my salary. Maybe you advocate for me saying for being comedian. Now so be teacher said you besi akemuno. Eric tie said ni party chianeka busumi. And now your man allowance. Your man allowance. There be yanka odia and then I won't yentia only allowance.
Party ni yentiaka.
Yentia your man allowance. You see, so for me, salaries there, you share a whole lot of factors in your carbon. Obia were genuine reasons to demand. Say yen tutu yakituema. Yen say omaya ye wumi. Ebi why nipa salaries. Kwanya ye fasu tuya akitua wo maimo. Me they have always complained about it. Busumi ya etua akitua no productivity levels no low. Ya complaining. But what to do the general conditions of living, any standards of living, you always come to conclusion say akitua di mani panusa. But say ya kwa kudu baby say it clocky ni etua nipa awa obeye ejuma and kanipa will be productive like other countries. Will be productive.
FM.
Because akitua obejinu depends on the work I would ashe ejuma no.
Exactly.
And say anko ni ejetum obi ko ejuma 1 hour no wedwane otinifo no bo nkomo nso busumi so sa nipa no complain sin obi awa asase so obe complain pa enokre wo hwe baby otie car odi be ejuma e bi why hwe edu anopa no hwe traffic ai wo yakwan ahodo so na nipa ba ko no sika mu enti o calculate say me ko ejuma me top petrol say e bi so anase ye public transport system no ye okay. Now for public transport system, ABY. Me jidi say, a fuel obeni at the end of the month, no, it will just be 1/10 of that you spend on your fuel. Nakawa kujuma aba. But then obi atoka, ube top fuel, ube maintenance, ube bibia at the end of the month. Okambo ma any salary no enko. And only assemble kwa, and no say a sheho. And so nipa no be complaining na ordinary luxury. Ni lifestyle na ye luxury no sa lifestyle no e no calculate me aban say yintu ama no enuntina obi wo ho ene o say ya to petrol mu 10% other than woman salary increment of 4%. But ukomu na ya to petrol mu we na say public system e wo ho na say person ye use na ya dia you don't need to pay the entire 10%. The 10% of what you pay may not be as much as obi or use on money car. And the way munyina ye niema ye bekoso enenye peculiar to a particular regime. Me who instances of demonstrations in this country from Rollins Abreso. Yakubia students time academic user fee way why into Eric ya betra se ne ye bo aban ti so a mba ye nhwe se aban no nyobi aban ye me ne omienu yen resources akan bia wo pepa se onyana kasika no ho se bia anko betua obia ba betua se ka ye ka se political parties cry yen fund wo mu obi se ska ho ka yen fund wo mu no aban has sat down. It took them over 2 years. That is true for aban to come to conclusion say yes demands na mo yen fair ebitua na mo sika no na anyhow. Yes, of course. Until say aban answer na aban beje enhyehyeye atomo no, then it makes a position say aban has taken consideration of every demands our mom making. Now we say obi sorry no aba o say look before abiding in salvation the facts of doing share characters no it means you acknowledge the problem. First of all, aban acknowledge problem no say there's disparity in the salary structure. So you need to neutralize it.
Slide that one we know.
Yes.
Even from Kufuor time before implementation of single spine pay policy. And America was there. OBC obepe neutrality allowance. And they are telling Ghanaians say some of us are doing politics. And me angle no now intimacy and they are not into politics. Ya for wejumem. Ya ma appointment letter. Ya kan de ho kwa koye. What's so peneso. Meboa. And the fresh graduates of every school, often in local government, na ketia number 1,700. Wajin a letter so called Bab obey. Ye were one any panako da sorry watchna. Was it because I feel that me what mean to me ya manual 7 days. On one I beck on Yemen America. And Untino, I was semi Maketia no crown major. Abama me ho allowance 20% of it. But me position is say we are government of the day be focus. The obetimi ayama nipa no ka they won't mean ye no. And kwatena wo say okoya danko dada do because they will hunt you back.
Yeah,
look, everyone, that is not the case. Yenim commitment mo ban ye. Wo kura na wa fa obi we adwuma
Ka wo de no.
me ka wo de wo na wo ene wanya ano na wo ka wo de na bon. You don't have that credibility. What for nipa we adwuma mu krum ha an appointment letter? Wo so bisom so a mema wo say. Nipa na ye adwuma enye kas aketua mu increment no pe wo. Wa ye adwuma 3 years. Wo buy wo say mema 3 months. You take it or leave it. What na sa ban na se wo krum ha? You live under that regime in this country. You are an executive member of that party.
Sly.
Please.
Sly.
So the point I'm making is no,
Tobo. Honesty there, you.
Yes,
if you are honest to the people.
Tobo, that a teacher for actual deal Krumha. 3 years. Mosi yemamu 2 month salary, 3 month salary. Diakaro, eyeka. MPP are buying by. It took negotiations upon negotiations to be able to pay back. What's now Krumha? Their validation kwana want to me anya for 3 years and you refuse to pay them. One agreement ahodwa one labor assign with Krumha that you renege on it. You have a genuine problem. This is a timer. We've had the biggest challenge of our economy. COVID is in same by this discussion took about 2 years from 2019 to 2021. That was the worst challenging times of our economy. Politics.
Can
you see when people say pandemic aba? When yesika, the money goes into fighting the pandemic. It is not profit for you to say when yesika. You don't get it.
You're cool.
You don't get it. So when people say these things, look, Niama Uye no, why yes, Niama na ba betwem. Former President Mahama, or see, I watch her, and no can say for Sasha Obotum, Sika Umwan or Sika or Simiska Besha Obotum, or buy 8 years later, or see on your magician to put money into our pocket. Please. Okasa na meti enya nia okanya na yemi do. Niama okano enya nia na yemi de. But me nyabotre, be patient and be tolerant. Men ye say there unkwana na boutique studio. Me okasa na meti na me nia body me I wasn't on my phone. So please the point I'm making is ye be trans studio ni ye political discussion ye dispassionate and be honest. Said ye okasa yi ochina manya to me the NDC ye di o mind so see any other political party. You want arrears upon arrears. A car who do Abuja to a do baby edu at 2016. Now school for the blind and deaf special challenge schools e okra. Omo do say. Na eduane krom be do okrom akra no. Na they didn't have it. School for the deaf and blind. Omo bursary I was say kokra na enko. Ebra nya free SHS. Na the northern scholarship e di bua at school for okroma. Charles, how many times an omo demonstrations and strike e okroma? We had gone through all that. It is because government, I'm not too sure, say, na mo buying, na mutim poni se muntua, because the resources were not available. And that time, that was the time. Circle Dubai, mo the 8 million cities, 1 hour, echo year commissioning, was circle. You know how much that money would have done for this country? You did it, yeah, in circle. Ebi, the budget no bar studio, we discussed the budget.
You print at it.
We discussed 8 million. 8 million. Please. Eric Tobo. Who kasano na mi studio? Kewanu tum. Me say, mo budget na. Me say, J Basa. Who kasano na meti? Niama waka fa.
These are the very things they do.
Oh, please. Who kasano here? Pen ni paper na da me.
Sano ure kufuado di introse.
Me say, mukasa. Na edamenim.
Sano ure kufuado kase kaswa intechi. Ya inflate cost.
That is how they talk.
That is how they talk.
Asampananchi for .7 FM so eni Ekosiisen dwumadie na yeguso a yede ma wono. Eric no tie se oyonko kasa no se yema o paper ne pen na mesre o de jototo ho wo be yi ano nyaboche o yesa na wo say program no tobo cho na ono aboto asoma
MPs woman manage na they were chief executives. Or you cited free zones and or your MP. You cited the institutions that those who were managing it were MPs. My predecessor, Ras Mubarak, now your chief executive, National Youth Authority. When you are MP, Did you criticize him? Kojo Chumbuafo. He was an aspirant. A friend is saying, not a point in time. Mostly NDC, you are so inept. You didn't have 2 people to manage 2 institutions. Nipa Baku, no manage it all. Esa manage bust. One go contest Ejakun, Ewayawa so West Wagon. Please, yes, I mean that is what you people told yourselves. Say Nipa Baku, or the office Baku Watema, Baku wo Joulu. So he shatters between 2 companies. Please. To Kawanutum. Oko contest here. The number of people said in Amtenaklu, a host of people who were chief executives who at one point in time also went to parliament. I'm not too sure. Eba institution bia, you can single that out. Please, Mitieu, the mischief you were seeking to do. That is what I have a problem with.
Enuntina Sly, honorable.
You see,
Meshada mani chemu because when near Adiaba Kusu woman say institutions in a sunny was seeking a bia a kaba honomo. Nipa no so ho ye tua ne ka ye nte se eka bi eba ho ofiri ho anete on that angle ne de so ka na se na mu anuti na nam bisa nse opeso o che se nipa na o kono no wa first kana na o se da bi.
So what is the example now or citing yesterday? I'm not too sure it has. Look, listen, I got the message he was trying to look. There's no institution, the state of perhaps free zones, okay? When Kofi Befi was the chief executive, every activity was supported. I'm not too sure. So Fiho and Sana, anything that is in free zone will come to light. No. So that example now, man, mischief. Pure mischief. If there are people in institutions of state today, boka, their chief executives are not in parliament. They have never sought to contest any elections anywhere. So that analysis and that example is flawed. Deal with the issue. Say, how did it come about? How do you bring Senipanako Parliament? What has that got to do with it? Mischief. I listen to you. Mischief. Eric, Mimi point ni say, say Kaba baby, deal with the issue. Then I can't buy. Is the management all right? Is the board doing its work well? But what do you call one say na nipa no ho and na yen ho call parliament as if say nipa no call parliament no this can call. That's the problem I have with you. Okay. Otherwise, that's the problem I have with you. Otherwise, what you gonna name? You have every right to ask any question with respect to SOEs in this country. You have every right to ask any question, and there are audited accounts, and you can comment on it. Obianihua is above the law. Everybody in this country, including the president, is under the laws of this country. So nobody is seeking to say so. But when you impugn politics to the extent, say, oh, na nipa no hodie, ye ntefi, nipa ni ko ya, and ye say, I don't get it. So that's my problem. Okay. So for me, time cross on. Now they won't keep it time. And you won't keep it time. You don't keep the time here. You're discussing politics. Now you're discussing in Shishaya Hudua a war, my moi. We ought to be. Your friend is saying, be mindful. Say, power will not stay with one person all the time. You come back near Kika and Sema Yakika. We are pushing so strong to push the person out of power. The reality will catch up with you. And we have a lot of examples of you. Not you. It started from you. It started from us. That is where we sit. We have 2 examples, at least of all the political parties. We, the young ones, must learn from it and discuss the issues as it is. But you think, and then I can go back to Rollins' time, I can go back to Professor Mills' time, I can go back to President Kufuor's time, I can go back to Mohammed's time, and I can go back to Akufo-Addo's time. But if you think, say, the 2 of us have done this to ourselves, and it's never helped the conversation, it's about time. So we deal with the issues as it is. But if you sit here, now if you say, oh, Mumu Yebi, I can also equally recount the number of times Muye allegations that were unfounded. And then it caught up with you when you had power. That is why I'm telling you today, say you're discussing issues now. Labor issues will never go away with us. And now I know say closer, dear, you can't want them. A teacher for labor. So for you are excited that labor is perhaps pushing government to the corner, my increment, because you think that is how you get power. But when you get the power, by that means, don't forget more demands you cannot even meet it. So you need to speak to the resources available to us as a country, the challenges we have, and now bet me straight, because every organized labor is on government for increment, which government cannot meet that demands. And all that you say, oh, I buy two more thing, I buy two coin. Are you saying? Say time na nipa court demonstrations na the idea will krum ha. Nipa sabi, the nipa be dinner den, the worst economic recession under President Mahama. So that President Mahama was not traveling. The kind of things you guys did in this country. But it is part of the governance. But don't hide the fact say labor, organized labor is demanding increment in salary. Yes, everybody knows. Say it here. We can demand for salary increment, but don't overly celebrate it. Thinking say, oh, it's pushing government to the corner. Abayan to me and Chia, organized labor, betu almost organized labor will vote against them. When they come, I keep asking the NDC, what is the alternative? The alternative is scary because you don't even have a plan. You don't even have a plan. If what you did in time past is anything to judge you, say munya or mainso akunyai etnasobuma, then your record stinks. It's the worst records you can ever think of in this country.
Yeah, that's it. Abusia Botiano English among from Rasha Bedjani or Honomo, Unwiyam for Sylvester Tetteh ena Yatenen Kano, Mam for Adjei, and Mamisha YouTube Kakra Madrinche and Bibri ena Abba any Facebook, Mame Enko YouTube na Memfa Madrinche Bako Mienuna Sapon Kwesi Sapon dear wode Abba. Kwesi mate near ode abano. Samo eduku so edie was say ABY me jidi sen ya workers ya ebebuwa ne say enko obi e kwa adwuma no akloke sa clocking system no eno ni ade a ebebuwa wukita card no akloke enti adwuma bi a wo beye no ye de hours a wo de eye adwuma no na monitor ye de be hwe na chese wakatua ne bibia yaye ene wiase eno a na eye adwuma wo ba bia enti oman no benifo hwe se obe use sa system no so ebi Philip Chabi ade ye ode aba wo se play no ho asem na ade ehiam a wo ken na apapapa bi so ade ye ode aba wose menim Rasha Bedjani ne ya adwen papa ewo nasem a wo ka no eho MP no asem na chese onmunyam for Sylvester asem na wo ken Jaria Pia ose Ghana nipa bebre wo ka se yentua to a yempese yebetua to eso ne ye hia ne se ye kana ye hia mpuntudwuma ne ye hia mpuntudwuma wose Ghana for entua to na mpuntudwuma so enya dwuma entumi enkoso koko apan so ede ye abode aba wose amanyofo wobre wo ho ase a ebeboa wo papa Samuel yo so ede ye ode aba wose bi wa ma menchia wo awie na chia menuanom mema omo ofie ho no mo mame omu nyina eje so Bruni Benen de ye ode aba wose Larry asem no fa tribal we hu ba bia mesremu ada me eho de menko ho kra menko ho nya de se mena besi ba bia o kane asem a wo kano Gifty Safo de ye ode aba oso man no a yetim no aye hustlers wan hozla oman no enya de se wubetumi atenemu ebiem so chese wa anyere wo ho pa untumi entna oman no emu ena osai maso ose MPP aban no se oman hwe na adwuma esesa omoye no so oman anya ene Ghana fo na troaba ebere ne so a wobekye won babi a esese woko osai maso so ede yode aba ewo YouTube eno no mamenko Facebook na madwenche no yemfa bi ento so from Facebook so a ewo so omanfo edibi aba Ekosiisen adwumadie so eni Asempa 94.7 FM so wadwenche no ene say Facebook say ye YouTube no odeba ye begibre na yakenkan ede ama kama ewo ha say mamenko ebenifo yento so ye besa aba messages no so ebiem yensem a ye de etop no so no ene medical de atudwa crossag 4 ewom poultry farmers so na ebobna se wadwuma agu eno ewomu na 11 so minority enya de akọ Supreme Court majority aye press conference afa ho minority mpanifo ni bi so mo nche ase ensemo a onmunyamfo se eche mensa bonsukan na se oye ayi asemo a yeni ye no kora no oya conclude ewo ho eno so ewo mu ebi ofen to so mienu na ye de eno asom Eric so
FM.
That's like Adjei no si boni. I'll explain. But on record, say me koka se mampeni Ekufuado. kwanya offer so living a lifestyle we mushenya or chatane de keka ho.
And the sasa wo san be
yes me but so call ntina American on say ura kofo me ba ura kofo ba this same MPP for ya na we mushenya ura Rollins for kra no omo pese otem okay do stories
but
maybe you get me well so for time now on person try the Rollins tinamun same be na mo keka me have no problem with that but na ura for be international assignment bia flights are not the way be okay pa British Airways no chata sa time kra na shabab fo agi wi ase afa Osama bin Laden na wi ase ayi hu no no fu be neko but under President Akufo-Addo was ye jet nenye ono no tenamu ebetimi ate na hwe no yetimi de come upon wi a on de onye nipa what are they talking about more than any kobo we be fa no de ko ni krum no de nam ha we be fa no de nam ha wo de okwa na wa chata ye ko kan wo se wo nko ade otenamu ebeku e de na wo ho ayeku you've caused a loss. It was our presidential traveling here the other. You are not bringing anything positive. At the Papa Ben Amodiaba and Negana for Adjei. And what I said, and that's sly name in Adriano. Sly man, Namin Pesame Chelsea Bia. Kofu DCU in Nana Crom Mershibif. You know, we are politicians. Party by it, Mimo Dibia. We started to open PAD. We are 3 times now. We are in the Meboa. Into the Obotanes and now in your parliament, or Beko fine. But the name person what say closer salary increment. Obi party about them. And then obeti VRE within 2016 goes 2020 almost the cut 9.7 billion. Your chief executive are buying a pound or quarter now. GMPC within 2016 equity 2020 almost the cut 11.4 billion. Ghana Water Company 2016 equity 2020 almost the cut 4.2 billion. Meanwhile, baby, I'm a to tantra. Wiki be and so babako. Ghana Gas from 2016 to 2020 now almost the cut 9.7 billion. So what I'm telling you is that we are a country, yes, a developing country. Not the bia ye buya hwa ye boka. Does it make sense? No. Auditor General Report from 2017 besi ne yankofo betina akonwa so afi bia sika yewia wa ben adwuma ne misappropriation ekosoro. Why? So such a person now ono no hu sa niema no the motivation is who this sika wa ben mu so it was all did the deserve man. And you sat with the person and you say so you do so the man. Then lala by ben amoto is here. I am not happy. Say or say me yemanije because party ni na wa ban mu na niema bi nkoyi. So I know say no na ebe kan de anya to me. No. Nya oman ni niema bi a ebe say na ye de gi to me. I keep saying say NDC be ba ban mu na Ghana abo. O ba ho be den. Say me da me how nyina ne say 2024 year ye be. E de empa na ye de bebu Ghana. Yes, that is my problem. Oh yes. Oh say like 2024 year be. Sika ben pa na di be yo man ho. Enkofo ya di sika nyina. Ena ejapade bia wo man mu bi o mu de si awowa. Ebi wo de kan okre say o papa ya reda ewu ne mpaso no. Koku afu ye de agebosia be 30 years.
Ena papa FM.
Enti se di ade ba. Obekunka meboa. And I may notice here about get fun. Ne poada Roma, ne penso ye de agebosia. Esla ye de agebosia. And a root fund, cocoa proceed. Just everything. He levi so cra na. A sense court no so cra. I'm a quarter catch the parliament so more de quagebosia. Until the arcanis unum crumani acho. So ye do quaji. Look, I didn't know. And when I proceed, the boo my own. You can't tell me say Ghana infrastructure fund. What the photo na agebosia. Ye who de oye. Is that how to run a nation? And you create get fund the tour. Rescue Gabra mo pencil ya mo beto so no. Aban bia ba no the statutory fund e jebosi say de mo yenia. And can mo beto bibizo. And you are not doing anything. And then wo can be kire me. Can be. Wow.
Na say say ye de enwuma ye sika ye wo get fund say na okay ye de sia wo road fund ye de sia wo na enye.
And I make sure say
enye
like eson fa so de no uhu asem ya me kan
if say wo kan my brother so road fund dey see this year wo
na how many years na how many years na how many years
yes no na wo
papa say wo fie na odwene ma ho a e say odwene deep say wo koba besia na o ka say obesia ya me kobo mfie mienu ntem metua wi a photo beba bia na ye dia now papa otimi sore so me the Ghana account bi akwaje bosia 15 years 20 years for 20 years kan owura kufu adom fie ona was 78 plus 20 no ko anot ya sekra no ayemre and look at these leaders what they are doing now so na the younger generation na ye ban me se me da me now jamiti pa ye because the enkofo ne ye no pressure be buy so in 2024 econ because kofa budget they are now telling us to say by 2025 Ghana the interest payment yeah the 65 billion e betua bosia it is sika hodo na ya de tie ne de aye no capital expect
Eric yanko your next topic so your brain inti
yanko portrait farmers
yanfa 12 minutes na yanko
the wakan
won
ebi
me dey respond no kakra ebi why
the okan yan kan time no
ya chabre na aka no 12 minutes 12
minutes the okan ye
obema time
ubenya bre 12 minutes why
enya 12 minutes
ye bani ye kasase ya ye bani ye kasase ya sla yen se bia ene ma nkonyi ye de o me ne ote asisi e wa hu close akasem na mo kan no the perception in the country now is that every politician is a rich person. That is the general perception. And you another perception Omodia tag is that every politician is a corrupt person. Another tag Omodia mind.
If one idea tag.
Let me tell
from one more can just corrupt.
Yes, no, but the way I man yourself. Also, all Casas is here, no. And Obeka Chow say, yeah, baby, be a circle interchange. Yeah, the 8 million Ghana cedis and a year budget, the could be. And I so Obisan say on pay proofs is here. From the Muki catcher, okay, say on prove on me. I remember when they came to Pa, almost station here, walk my dinner. Sana no more year. Omoko first state institution back home. Near Bev running and down at said your Moko Nifino. Not know me send up your mobile new. That was what they did. The lies of Dr. Punimunano, they started prosecution now, and omo yo man omo de omo ko gina court and ye di omo asemonde ebi why oni krom ha in 2016 owura kufu adoka se kaso interchange okay kaso adwuma na ye no owura mahama odi sika ne bito so owura ya na no ye se Ghana aye den a dollar ni si di o se wonye economics adiomi nya adiomi na ka se de mampani akufu adoka na enye nokre because ono committee no was bi ye inflate bi that is how they are. Look at their tradition. You people, I didn't pay some money da. And yet your mind now, you are in 5 years. Business waje. A chance to come and Kroma pencil base you rama hammer pencil. Onya the papa be a
topic Ben Akasa family.
May call contract a year can say poultry farmers in India. It's may call poultry farmers in Hono. Everyone. Yes. May share almost statement be almost issue some days ago, poultry farmers.
Yeah.
Almost say Abru. Yeah, no moton ohwestro no say Small Scale Poultry Farmers Association analysis of cost of input from 2020 to 2022. What they are telling Ghanaians and they say abro baga e bia no moton 70 Ghana ya omode mo nkoko in 2020 no. And then in 2022 omoton 185 Ghana cedis. So an increment of 115 Ghana cedis representing 164%.
Increment.
Yes, amamu oboninti. Ebiem. Almost soya beans. No motor bag ya motor edi feed omonkoko no. In 2020, na ye 105 Ghana cedis. And now me no kasa in 2022, a 300 Ghana cedis. An increment of 195 Ghana cedis. Percentage wise no 186%. Amamu oboninti. But we are in a country yeah planting for food and job. Medical can maize ni soya beans. Okofa planting for food and job policy document na maize, cereals and vegetables. Enti obi etimi ka kire say aburabu because ye planting for food and job aduani abu okroma. What the poultry farmers neka? Ana ye aburo ni na. You see yemfa kalabule mu oman. Always be truthful to the system.
Asempa FM.
Uniana in 2018 abura short to Korea. Some of the poultry farmers from Doma, Omokofa Bro Burkina, and not Kako Danikum, on that story. But your sector minister say the planting for food and job. Na me anya me wanwa. Policy aye ya fertilizer kura na e de begu sa no ban so no. Obeti ye say aban do afu Burkina. Ghana fertilizer nyina ho na ewo. Aban agye asase wo Cameroon ho na fertilizer wo. Eno na mode aye o man na bedu a ene ye ka poultry farmers asem yo. Ebiem poultry farmers no yese sa nkokọ no kura di wheat na minim. Omo se asa 20 no omoto omo wheat bag in 25 Ghana cedis. Ene 50 Ghana cedis. An increment of 25 cedis, which is 100%. By slide back actually say Ukraine. Ene nkofo no ye Putin mo or eko. Enti na wheat boy heading. Na no ada owura alaji ba omi akọ kaso a na okasa kire Ghana for test comfort no. Once na the concentration in Ukraine ne Russia ne Putin ne ade. Ghana for the wheat wo fufu. Banchi ena okọ kroma banchi 20 Ghana cedi enso nipa 9. Bayire mi fi bi e ba me to bayire wo kwan ho ebi why. Bayire sister Ghana na yi ma me nkete miensa. But you get a minister. No abeka kire say ne body edro 3 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, me busa bi 100 Ghana cedis.
Enyo na kan obobo no buy planting for food and jobs kan na bayire kan ho.
Time o ka say body e kan ho. Me bo o ka say body e kan ho busa no. They should stop lying. What was it? And nothing na close like there. Me say no kre na aye almost ano. Because the minister came out telling us planting for food and job about body ebu. Body drew 3 cedis. Me I read the policy document. Body en kan ho. Enti nyankopon ama nsu ato a obeje ne fans no. Wo je ho fans. And the body drew 100 Ghana, 150 Ghana cedis. Poultry farmers, omu yusufu wo. And the petrol bo. And this nipa na o ye poultry farmer ne wodoma. Na wo loading kosia de abankram ya to biadi. Nti enye wanwa say in 2020 kosia crate near 15 Ghana cedis, 23 Ghana cedis. An increment of 8 Ghana cedis, 53%. What is the government doing about it? Ye tia konwa so no. Poultry sector, DNA anye, besian ben, and a sika ben yan fancy omunumum, any pharmaceutical industries. But yan Boris B one could not say a factory. Yan Kodako farm say a be in a factory. But this cosmetic politics no more yen crewman. Ye mad Dako farm be near Kupintin in war. Dako farm and near yen factory. Boris B near Boboko. We did a lot under our watch. Sa policy na near pese portrait you might more attractive, you know. Yes, say, even a number be important, no. Akoko nam no. Say mu 60% any bekra 40% no ye man local producers of sankoko no na produce. Why? Ye di sika shemu ankasa but today ankoko ni didi kura mo nya kese because aduane e wo sakoko ni di na onya srade de tukosua no akoko ni nyani na akoko kura ne didi a o me na wo kwabrane so ade ne de ayeka na me de be sre president Akufo-Addo ne se sa ni 2 years na aka anse wakono udi onya yesi ya mane fa foforo bia meka ho because the rate ade no kono ebi wi ohun nipa kura na obuafu because enra social media na amanfo ye president Akufo-Addo ne baba bia ware Dangote mo ba ho asem kana meka. I was so happy within your 4-5 years businessmen on muya Ghana ya kill your munyina o ware there open international businessman o make grace about occasion. No, those businessmen on muya Ghana ha no one and compete me sustain the economy. You've killed the businesses. Eric. Banks are enye bone ni egugu no omo an nkebe ma poultry farmers ne besia ma omo dia ye adwuma. Heritage Bank bone be no ye ne bone ne say agongo wo court. Jesus. What say adini bi eja say ABY offer a constitution e kire say ye do kogina mra animu until say obeji atum si wadi bone it is say onya de bonye for ara meboa we di etimi kase ye di obi court nti na adwuma mpo no ya gu no adanye ogina court nti o ye guilty. What nation are we building? Those are the business class.
No, maybe.
Now agongo no onye fertilizer business. No onye say onisa business ni nyina. Any onye fertilizer.
Uye addition ya wo gentity ya be ye lawyer. Wo say do agongo reason ya din ko gina court ne say ogina court enu nti na ye Heritage Bank.
Yes.
Sa reason
report no.
Ni nti omode no court ni si ye no.
Financial sector reports na almost omode collapse banks no. Heritage Bank.
Almost say new court.
Onya boni bia. Only liquidity problem. Heritage Bank, me specific. I've mentioned it.
It
is say, oh, you be a okay businessman. Or a businessman. not dealing fertilizer need the keka and then once the Russia can and to have most fertilizer crash or tea. But local business people now no mutimi produce those things or mutimi di bibano. What kelly businesses? At the end of the day, eduane bo kostro. And na okodwemu a body betting. Me pe Kofi broke my body atotopa. Ye twa mu tre ba ko ye 1 cedi 50 pesos. That is the nation ayetimune. But yeah ma wonka. They are talking as if all is well. But anyama mu adin and every school for school fees in the history of our country. Then last week now they said tech. Yes, and kwada ntimi ntua fees in Tigrano. Ye defer almost said they can. But abide fees and charges, government institutions, budget here kind of another. What 15%? It is part. And then watch the fee now you're 15%. Oh what? Birth certificate or palm ba you're 15%. I buy Braben waboni kruma wo jini pa zikanyina. And then me no ka say almost e-levy. Nyame ya adoma by 4th echo and no more ye de minimum say wo court. Ebi why? Ohwe ni pay yisu mobile money wo kru.
Asempa FM.
Ya ho kira ye wom. Na resources so wura kufu ado anya. Na besi ne wantimi amfa amobra na wo kan kire Ghana for say wanya e-levy a Ghana be hia. Na enya go reason. And I mean, okay, say they told us to say Ghana for man more kwenya na omunya e-levy abosia kro omunyi bi. And no na madwama so omokope bosia de aba. So that is the caliber of people we are dealing with. Ade no papa bia ni hobie mu. Oman no bebi adru no. Eno ntina make say ye need new trust in this country anymore. Ye need new trust because the clergy na ye wa ban mu a na omuhu de anya omokasa no. Omo nyina ya appointees, board members. Na no ada uni ana Professor Mate ni PR na wo time on now moderator no. Oye lecturer o gempa ba bontin say entro no mukotwa to ura mahama so say nko be brabo Professor Mate. And all those voices you can hear them.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyansafu e wa de.
Yeah, that's it. Ebusian Adjei and Yatin Kano, Deputy Communications Officer Ma Buno Region, and Odindia Akogono, Yakobotiano English Yaman from MP, your honomo, Unmunyan for Sylvester Tetteh. Honorable Somaye.
Yo, ABY, Mr. Eric, Omo, communication officer, no, he's still in the element of the propaganda secretary. Free muye enti adwuma na oye no okika bibia bom na we si ni triase no abutu no na waka no basa na wasori ko ebi why poultry sector yenim say the biggest we are ewo ho soya is the biggest protein is an industry anyina interested parties personally and yes obi and it can be actually me na idea until COVID they buy look recently me too quite for
FM
na me contact person see obi person be humi until now me call another city. I had to wait. He was willing to meet me and even buy a ticket for me. Say me lose me flight now because internal flight will lose. I was he was willing to buy for me. Now me show me appointment or chasing me ba only my deal buy or say up soya beans from Ghana. Now what's your price now or the mammy now very interesting. And I say soya what do you call it? Or say or the year feed any bro or say or the year feed. That's one of the biggest poultry farms in Turkey. We export eggs, even some to Burkina and the rest. Actually, poultry product or exported all over the world. Na onyani soya no kese pa fi Ukraine. Na intokwaya bay onya supply bi so nkuko no. See an insurance atro no say if they die out of hunger, enya dia ometua it na ope. So ya dem catch and say well, ye was soya wa ha, but say ope dia Ghana has a good investment environment. Almost set up production over her rather than say be exporting. Now I didn't even know. Say now it was the norm. Say Crawford exported a bro and soya to other jurisdictions for bigger money. And so share investment. I can say now say I buying the letter by say nobody should export a bro and soya from our jurisdiction again. Masa, please.
Kasa na onem kra.
Kasa. You see,
microphone them.
ABY. Yes, there was problem. We share utie poultry farmers now. The demand and then the supply. It's always not been at equilibrium. There's always a shortage. And it's not new.
FM.
It was worse under their regime. It's never at equilibrium. There was always disparity compared to supply and demand. But where Yayan crop won't be, export, it worsens the situation. That is the truth. So Abayan Kasa did in Christ nobody henceforth should be able to export a bro. And now say so talk to your MPs along the northern borders. We call north for now the idea. Maybe omuya so ya power say they take it through road to other countries and export it.
But
factors are
honorable nyaboche. Baby awo kan say na awo kan say obi eba wo ho ni we no. Sa akuafo enyan kokono. Me so mini bi edi nkomo pa na wunim. Wo kan say yatumi adobro. Ya den hyehyɛ ya ba ne yakase planting for food and jobs. Ya do bro, ya do so ya na yatumi anya na dɔso a. Enu nchi aban hyehyɛ mu no yɛse yɛsi warehouse so bebree. Na nka yatumi store bi. Ye wo silos tete de no kura bi wo hɔ no mo. Na sɛ yatumi agile system no gile niema mu. Ema farmers no sɛ yɛ ɔmo na export o sɛ yɛ hifo. Ɔmo de kɔ wie ma ya ho kyere ye. Ansani abeka so ya de niema gu akwan mu a na say adwuma na ye no ye si planting for food and job storage no
ABY the truth is that you will a free market economy. There's no control say wow products are buying for policy ama and until say ban be realize on the policy be bad na me do me bro na me nya me bro a baby am turn on there is not a commodity controlled
na nya na say ya de banner to
yes it is because of Nyama SCNA. No, let's just be honest with ourselves. I can say we have never had a production equal the demand supply. Yeah. It hasn't happened before, especially the soya and then the ebruno. My pencil, now we used to import it. But planting for food and jobs has boosted the production to the extent that the problem is obi ton oyen ebru wi a maybe okoton no nobody controls it. Until say the policy number say henceforth nobody can export it. You will chrome her. Now we do a bro or my now do a bro. Erica would say no be amount market price 10 times what you earn in Ghana. You will go and export it. But because our time no are buying fire restrictions beyond so. The problem is that we call baby baby or my mo a do a bro near the idea. I'm coming to that. The uko environment be destroy no. And more production of Nyama Yekan is one of the factors. The Nipa Mundo Omuyakia, we don't do commercial farms. It's a problem. Planting for food and jobs, it is fantastic. But we should be targeting commercial farmers. We should be targeting commercial farmers and encourage people to go into commercial farms. Then one it's na and oka say omucha assassin na edua. Yeah, you said the cashew. Then you affect production now. So the policy is there. So buying that don't mean maybe a small consultancy be amobi. Now they were looking at outgrower system to feed their plant. Now look, you now will set up a factory. You need to have at least 40% production on your own, so that outgrowers no disappoint you. You have something to run your factory. And then you know idea near kotu galamsey. If they are called to cashew, if they are called to Nyama, people are going out from the peasant farmership, no, or fees a check and son of irrespective of our buying policy, no. So we should be targeting commercial farmers. Look, farmers, thousands of farmers and millions of farmers, 2 or 10 commercial farmers can outproduce the number of soya Nyama. We don't have commercial farms. So about this now you want to depend on persistent farmers now. You put in all the effort, but it's difficult to regulate, it's difficult to control. And only idea was say say you am one crop farmer now near commercial farmers. Now so mine you war commercial farmers soya. They are bare 20. Ni say sani part 20 we production alone is enough for this country. You be a problem. enuni asem. Now land tenure system is also affecting our farmers. I shared an experience, an MP shared an experience with me. Asase kro no person odi yefuo. Ehun litigation could be a court na there. Na was so twaso. So yes, aban any swadi hunu. So big catch us planting for food and jobs has not benefited this country. Na nipa no boa. But me, I felt we should scale it up to support commercial farmers. Because look, poultry, and why is it that it's so expensive? Unye nkuko wa ha, eggs need fine. But uko se obenye nkuko, no wa processing meat no, no wa ton wa ha obeboka. And it's cheaper for people to import the meat from outside. Eton wa ha cheaper than what is produced in Ghana. It is because of the input now it is shame. So a conversation about beto aponswa e wo se di ne ye na asa obmanya ye bomuno ye encourage commercial farming. Until we encourage commercial farming, it will be difficult for this country. Because maybe why me we cross me papa jame asase. Me papa be obre no jam asase no. Me we secondary school and free SHS aba. Manya university admission. Me fee university a me pay juma won kran. Wan e konkodo asase no. Obi ani obo akodo. And so anko ye kwa na your production capacity is going down. So media, it is true the poultry farmers are buying the share who do egu akwemo. But the cycle of production and harvest no emua. Within no it causes a lot of pain and havoc. Over dependence on subsistence farming will not help this country because there can industrialization near raw material to be able to feed our industries in there. We should be looking at the raw material base. No say it should also be commercialized. Commercializing no. Now we want to depend fully on this, and should not be looking at say your friend is saying MPP, NDC. It is not going to help anybody. Metia na say akuko 50 cedis, 20 Ghana cedi. Ni poye nkuko na ono ni input ye bi abe 5 cedis. No turn to 20 Ghana cedi. Me kwato amani beji. Me misa so NDC na so MPP ni. I won't be able to ask. Me kwato kusia na kusia no create 15 cedis ah. Me to kusia ko si me fee. I may not even ask farm bena kusia fiba. Ye ensure NDC ni MPP kala ho. Your disposable income levels no. Ebe cost run as ebe ba forma. It depends on what you use your money for. Look, MPP antina 8 years opposition wokruma. 8 years on the to ade wokruma. Enye NDC for nkwa na come market. Ye nyina ye come market. So politics has no place in this. But the policy makers must think ahead and formulate policies ye nyina ye ho behind ye. Media, what I've seen in all the conversation and Ekoso and Neno, I think it's about time say mine will encourage commercial farmers. Na ye ntai wo mwachi. No munye kwia. You experimented this persistent small-scale farming from the days of old, Gordon Gorgesberg. And then, you have bomodiama, industries, small cottage industries around the country. Raw material base, you did and we share Aztec, we share a confit juice, we share a lot of raw material base, not be a problem. Look, I also starch factory. Problems in your outgrowers are yenya. Womu bunch na instead of say why invest womu na omaye bunch or some factory no na say bunch ye de aglema ye benya mfaso essence dey call ayenso starch factory. One of the problems ayenso starch factory anti me survive. Now say your commercial cassava farmers only production onya no, it is more than what the factory even needs now. Obviously that factory would have been saved up to now. Look, Commander Sugar Factory, one of the biggest problems. We didn't have plan for production. And it's there, former President Mahama Muye in Chino. Now also Mukoto sugar. Eddie Betcher and say, I didn't know I produce sugar. So media Masa, Mr. Ebeye mfaswo ama omai ni kesiye. Ye prayer ye kobe. Ekuyafoya na so yemu over the last 66 or 65 years up to now ye woman. Oma bom modern. There's a limit to which they can go. And I see free SHS everywhere. Ebedu baby no that no be complaining say yenya house helps e o ifibium. This your house helps a company oba or G per hour and every month or now fee bium or by juma ma no ko aye juma first no not to chain or some wine film you no what so we machine back one man second ko sua juma and then some record and the house help I will phone ya Adjei house help no be probi a wako school or by the way to me abo obama ya ni homework into oba we hwe ni certificate uko school could do he maths wo try English wo try baby akwa ko duro no eno nti labor na yenya e wo farms ahodi a yede do enye dignifying enough no e wo se e bo modern say ye be pagya mu na ya boa na ye di akade kese ahyem Eric ti hei o man no bi about 50 hectares of land na o man akade a e bi propaganda o ye yam fifriti ni obejai na o man sika na o man no machines na de ade a obetumi ayekua asan ye the politics asan increase the production of soya or production of maize na atumi aboye. My contribution is that we must start looking at commercial farmers in this country. Otherwise, it will be perennial issue.
Yeah, that's say Ubrena no pepe. Ebusia Botiano English ya man from MP no. Na somewhat dear your day about CBY. Catch Eric mama say Israel and I wo. Na ye to a more 5 kg no badge no. Na ye to no 35 shekels. And ne ye to no 45 shekels. Eti catcher ne say baby ya enema asesa entese ne na etie no. Ena Christopher Manu or say ABY bisa Eric mama say or say mampenida da John Dramani Mahama wo baby wo mo baby se na nani asi abra wo say ne yam hyehye no ba wo mo ba no bisa nse wo mo be ye den wo mo de na aka Ghana for wo ba de na wo mo di kan eye ena koko apan so e de ye ode aba wo say or say Mr. Eric paying visit to our forefathers has no age limit. And only idea there. The name near okay, mentia say papa. Near okay. A strawberry so dear your day abba. Or say catcher Eric say a free sabri elcono. Propaganda moon ye biu. Minim near Abusan for Yapon now over microphone Yapon young coffee.
FM.
Oh say
Sorry, the uncle.
Mestre your party phone nyina say obia anya edumaden because upia utumu say Ghana for a condoy
upia
yes and what's your man who di etri dem
uko obi nanu
oh yeah wonama bonze ye na ye position ye proud crash on one abem omo dodge into slice once ye position ye car glass for form and on one abem no pressure ntia wosro
Only use land cruiser. Let me use salon.
Yeah, chair obia.
Me that say. Abusia Erika Adjei na yate ne no deputy communications officer